The Contractor pistol, a pistol that was added with the John Wick character pack. We actually kind of got two versions of this. We have a single one as a secondary and an akimbo Contractor for our primary. Between the two, they're actually not very different at all. Slight differences in the stats. As you can see, this one has a larger magazine and less concealment. And less stability, because I don't have the skill for that. But for the most part, they're pretty much the same. They have the exact same mods. And for the, most of the stats are the same, like damage and accuracy. So let's take a look at what this thing has to offer. The Contractor has a magazine of 20, total ammo of 90, rate of fire of 542, damage of 84.3, accuracy of 92, stability of 60, concealment of 28, and threat of 9. Some pretty decent looking stats. Looks very similar to like the Crosskill, Interceptor, I believe Shimano Custom, those kinds of pistols. So if we modify it, we can see that it has some unique mods. It has a Contractor compensator in the barrel extension. You can also have one of the other many barrel extensions. It has an extended magazine and tritium sights, which I may add are very nice to look at. It's kind of hard to see here. And for me, red is not the best color, but you know what? It's still very nice to look at, especially when you're doing the reload and you get to see the sights. You can see the tritium on top right there, slightly. You can also have, like I said, one of the barrel extensions, a boost, and a gadget. Right now, mine is equipped with a micro laser and the Contractor compensator. For my build right now, I'm using my one down, loud, pistol dodge, crit, trigger happy setup. I'll just quickly go over it, but I already went over it in a video, so if you want to know more about that, you can check that out. It's a fairly straightforward build for one down, at least for me. Gotta have my dodge, gotta have my crits. For pistols, have been doing me pretty well. And this one actually is no different at all either. So let's see what it looks like in some gameplay. Alrighty, the Contractor pistols. I've quite taken a fancy to this thing. It's nothing too crazy, but after using it for a bit, it definitely got me all nostalgic for pistol setups, if I haven't already been. I mean, if you've known me for a while, you'll know then I love my pistol. I love my pistol builds. It's a bit of a nostalgia trip I've been going through, with the recent updates. There's one down difficulty being the next big challenging thing, and, everyone is going back to using the tried and true rogue, dodge, mini setup. I've gone back to using pistols a lot more, despite people telling me, oh, you should use the bows because they're so good and there's no point in using anything else and you haven't discovered how great bows, and oh, hey, look, they got nerfed today. Who would have guessed? But it's chill. Playing with pistols again, it was pretty damn great. Reminded me of the old days, making Silent Killer pistol builds, playing Deathwish when it first came out, shit like that. I guess some things never change, except now I've got more gray hair and there's that stain on the carpet that won't go away. So let's actually talk about the pistol, though there won't be much to say. Where does it stand among the other ones? Well, it's really similar to the Crosskill type ones, It's got that 80 damage mark when you do have the damage skills, 90 rounds total ammo, above average accuracy that, every weaker pistol now lacks. Oh god, I miss the days of laser accurate, Gruber, and all those other pistols. So the performance of the Contractor is pretty good, at least if you got the right skills on. Mainly, all the pistol stuff in the Fugitive Tree. Even though the Contractor is pretty similar to the Crosskill, the Interceptor, the Leo, those kinds of pistols, I think one of the things that I really like about it is the fact that at its base, it's already pretty good, like stat-wise, I mean. Like the secondary I have right now has, I believe, 28 concealment, and I only have one mod on it, which is the compensator that you get for the slight boost in accuracy. So it already has good damage. We've boosted up the accuracy so that the pistol can hit stuff like snipers, and well, the stability is it's okay. It's not too terrible, but I think the visual animation for the recoil makes it a little bit worse than it actually seems. But stability is fine. I think another thing that's really nice about this gun is that the base magazine already has 15 rounds in it, so you don't really need an extended mag. 15 rounds is pretty sizable for a pistol. But this works doubly well for the Akimbo version. With my current setup, my primaries have 40 rounds before I have to reload. So that's pretty handy when having to deal with, say, a bulldozer. So all in all, I'd say that The pistol is pretty decent, and with the recent changes to one down, they're even pretty good there. And that's a little something I've been a little wondering about, you know, because if you didn't know, one down's been changed a bit since release, and one of the most recent changes was they increased headshot damage multipliers, I believe, by 50%. Something by 50%. Something to do with headshots. So, you know, enemies are easier to kill now. And before, while, like, you know, 95% of weapons were pretty much absolutely useless on one down, a lot more now are pretty usable with that slight buff. Well, I don't know if you'd call that slight, that's a pretty big change. But in any case, it makes a lot of weapons a lot more usable, just like the contractors that I'm using right now. There's also already been a few other changes to one down, but that one was probably one of the biggest ones, at least in my opinion. So it kind of makes you wonder where Overkill wants to go with one down difficulty. I mean, we were all pretty convinced that how difficult it was at the beginning was pretty much the entire point of having the new difficulty. Something that was insanely hard and challenging. Death Wish also kind of used to be that way, but, you know, after the countless updates and rebalances and skills added to the game, it just kind of became the new Overkill difficulty. So, while I am glad that there are more weapons that are actually usable for one down now, instead of, you know, everybody using the same 2 or 3 things, it kind of makes you wonder how far they'll take it into the rebalancing of the new difficulty. In any case, another something or other I noticed while making these videos is that going solo on higher difficulties seems a little bit more doable these days. You know, same as the other videos, right now I'm doing a bit of solo one down to give these weapons a go. And they really toned down the spawn rate for these guys. You know, they still do a shit ton of damage, but it's actually manageable. Almost to the point where it may be easier in some cases. Of course, this is really few and far in between, since, you know, any map that deals with moving bags will still always be easier with more people. Moving bags like balls, even more so when doing it alone. You just die so fast when you're carrying anything that you can't run with. That and armor setups still being outclassed by dodge, though that's a problem that's been there since the beginning of time. Either way, weapons like these contractors, they're pretty great for these kinds of setups because, you know, they got all-around coverage. They're decent at chaining kills pretty quickly, pretty reliable for large targets like bulldozers once you start stacking trigger happy and crits, still enough accuracy for ranged use for snipers and stuff, and really good concealment to be used with low blow sneaky bastard setups. Pretty solid thumbs up from me, though, you know, that's more or less a pretty general statement about all pistols of this kind, not just the contractors. And, as it's been said before, the weapons from this wig pack are all pretty similar to already existing things, so I don't see too many reasons to go out of your way to pick up any one of these up, you know, unless you just really like the guns, though that in itself is a pretty viable reason. In fact, it would probably be one of my biggest reasons to pick up just about anything.